Castle Weasel lies right here in the very center of this 1 mile hex. The blue hexes are 200 yards. Our home base is right here on this little red star, and we are using the granddaddy of them all, the big mamma jamma, the real deal, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, to play a little solo hex crawl, little exploration in which we started out with about 50,000 gold pieces, and things got complicated in the month of May. Things got a little busy, both in the campaign and on the home front. And as a result, I had to step back, and there's a number of things that I was missing out on and forgetting to do, and I thought I better sit down and I better run the numbers. This is turning into a really math-heavy series of videos. Today will probably be pretty short, though, because if we take a look at our calendar, Old Castle Weasel, we started constructing it several months ago, and we've had a good time protecting it from all the bad guys as we go. We had some ogres show up. We had a frost giant. Fortunately, we have a very charming guy on our payroll. And as things stand, we are going to be completing this tower on June 1st. We'll have to pull out the wooden palisade, fill this ditch in, or maybe expand the ditch. We'll have to figure that out. What that means is we have a reason to party. And so I thought, now today, I really want to go back to exploring the rest of this hex here. I want to start working my way around, trying to clear all 6 of these surrounding hexes. We already cleared the center hex. But we have a lot of guys clearing the giant frogs out of Watery Tart Pond and its immediate environs. We had to recruit some more guys. Dealing with the ogres was very pricey in terms of blood and lives, and the heroes we've lost will never be forgotten. We carved their names into the front gate of Castle Weasel. See, there it is right there, which is now fixed, fairly secure base of operations. But one of the problems we're facing is that we're running low on cash, and I made a new budget just to kind of reflect that, and this shows you right here. We have 3,000 gold pieces in our castle and 4,900 gold pieces back at Harrington. I said in a recent video that we have payroll through the June 1st, but when I was looking at my notes here from when we did all that recruiting in May, I realized, so I wrote through July 1st, but I paid for 3 months with these guys. So the new guys coming on at the beginning of May would be May, June, and July. They'd be paid up through August 1st. There are some of the old guys that we already paid up through May, so we probably need to pay them, and we probably need to pay our support crew as well. I think we only paid them. No, I did pay them for the extra couple of months. So we don't have a whole lot of money left. And remember that money is power, and we have been able to spend some treasure to deal with some of the random wandering monsters, including some pilgrims that came through. Twice they shook us down. But we made payroll. They didn't attack us. They weren't too mad at us, which is good, because we like having the good God above all, the good Christian God, the Roman God. Somehow, word of our Lord and Savior made it into this fantasy realm, and so our priests are Christian, and we love it. That's who we serve. He is. We have done what Christians always do. They take a pagan thing and they make it a lot better. Now, that being the case, I said, oh, well, that's wrong. I got payroll made through August 8th. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is making that note. Technically, is it all of June, all of July, and all of August? Yeah, but if I just say through August 1st, then maybe I'm spending way too much money. But I still have $8,000 in the bank. And if I'm overspending a little bit here, just to be on the safe side, then I'm comfortable with that. In fact, I was down to 49.90, and I said, you know what, I'm going to spend 90 gold, and I'm going to spread around some bonuses for the guys that have been around for a while, and I'm going to pay for a nice big fatty celebration on June 1st. Hey, you guys, you get to party, and maybe that will help word of our little venture out here spread back through civilization, and that will kind of justify getting some latecomers to show up. Now, we do have a few farmers, and as I was hinting at earlier, I have a convoy coming through. I don't think I explicitly paid for the replacement wagons and horses that were lost to the ogres. Well, now I have. By scaling this back to just like 2.5 months, and I haven't really nickeled and dimed and done the whole accounting thing. Hard to believe given how much accounting we've done over the last few episodes. But I feel justified in saying, really, I'm down to just, what would 8 be? Double it. I'm down to just 16% of my original funds. So, that being the case, I'm actually not going to play out any more of this campaign right now. Everybody's going to rest. Everybody's going to chill. We got like 30 medium horsemen coming. And when they arrive, we're going to be at 150 men total. So that's 20 lightfoot, 70 heavy, 20 archers, and 40 medium horse. 20 of those are going to be on constant escort duty. So when we do our additional exploration, we may wind up sending out 10 medium horse along with our 10 lightfoot and 10 heavy foot. That way we got 30 guys running around within a mile and a half, right? So from here to here is a mile and a half of Castle Weasel. That's a 20-minute run if you encounter something that you really just can't deal with. The other thing that will happen is by spreading that gold around and saying, hey, the old Roger Steiner, he knows how to party. That's going to increase our chances of having adventurers show up. And these are the guys that are really going to pay off huge dividends, because when we finally hit this chance for adventurers, and in fact, that is one of the things that I want to roll for today. I've been bumping that up by 1% every month as word of our successes and failures. And more to the point, our failures work in our favor too, because guys who want gold know that we're incapable of getting it ourselves. They'll come get it, and kind of for us, because when they get the gold, I know people hate paying taxes, but now they're paying it to Roger Steiner. So that would be ideal. No risk for us. We get 10% of whatever loot those dopes drag past our castle. We'll take it. And so on May 1st, right? So this is May 24th when this video goes live. And so I want to know if the adventurers are going to show up next week. And I get a 26 so they don't. Now, the reason I'm rolling that right now is that in the wee small hours of the evening when I can't sleep, when I'm tossing and turning, thinking about all of the many mistakes I made during the course of the day, and I want to turn my brain off for a little while, if I had rolled adventures, I could spend a few minutes rolling up an adventuring party. And we're going to build a little mini game to show you how one of the ways you might incorporate wandering adventurers with all of the risks that entails. Hey, there is a risk that they could take over our leadership role, right? Maybe they like our castle and they take it from us. Or maybe they they promise, no, trust me, buddy, trust me, we'll totally come by the castle if we get a bunch of, if we stumble upon a big fat pile of loot. Now, you guys play Dungeons and Dragons, right? How many times have you told the local lord of the manor, no, we'll totally, we're good for it, bro. And then you just skip town, right? It happens all the time. We have our chance at least of being on the other side of that, depending on who the adventurers are. Are they selfish evil types? Do they have a lawful good cleric? Is it a band of thieves? Who is a little more than bandits, right? That's going to affect the odds of whether or not they run out. So there's all kinds of fun little things that you can explore, and little ways that you can make those little checkpoints. That flow chart of, what are the odds that they all die? What are the odds that they return with some loot? How much loot could they return with? What are the odds that they actually pay their toll as they go by? How much are we going to fet them? In other words, if it's a big enough, we might comp them. We might go full Vegas, right? Wow, you guys did great. No, stay in the castle for a week and a half. Stay as long as you want, guys, for the amount of money but there'll be a little bit of expenditure. So maybe we only get 9%. Maybe we only net 9% of whatever they bring out of the Reditomb. So remember, the nearest uncleared dungeon, we call it the Reditomb, and it's about a day's march through orc-infested hills to the northeast. Here's us, here's the Orc Hills, and here's the Reditomb. The other thing we're probably going to wind up doing, I'm hoping in August, is go dig up the crater. We have a little mini game for that as well. And the reason I'm going through all this right now and not actually playing any game stuff is because I just don't have time. Frankly, I have too many family celebrations here leading into the summer. Once summer rolls around, things will slow down, and I really think it's worthwhile kind of going through this exercise of not doing a whole lot, just sitting down and poking at the numbers and shoving gold around, because this is the nature of solo campaigning, that you get to move at your own pace. And I know this pace probably isn't great for YouTube, but it's great for peace of mind. And the other thing I want to bear that in mind, when you're playing games like this, even if you're playing one-to-one time, you can go at your own pace. We could very easily decide, even though it's May 21st, let's go ahead and just turn the clock forward to June 1st. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Maybe we just play that 1 week and we get 2 weeks out ahead, and then we wait for the real world calendar to catch up. Maybe I have a vacation coming up, and so I play out 3 to 4 weeks ahead because I know it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before I can get back to this. Eventually, it'll catch up. Now, you don't have to do that if you are solo gaming, right? One of the complaints that people have about, oh, well, I don't need to use one-to-one time. I only have the same 5 people, and they're very good about showing up, and it doesn't solve any problem that I have. Well, you know what doesn't solve any problems that you have is playing Dungeons & Dragons in the first place. You don't need to play role-playing games, but you are, right? Need doesn't have anything to do with it. If you're going to play the games in a way that maximizes your odds of getting the experience out that you want. That's the whole point with one-to-one time. And so even though I'm by myself, I mean, aside from you finding people, one-to-one time even gives me time because I'm filming these as we go. I've got some of the Mauritius campaign, I've got some of those videos already booked. I got like 3 weeks of those things booked right now. This D&D campaign, I'm filming them on a weekly basis because I want to incorporate you guys' suggestions. I want to take a little more time to pore over the rule books. I want to take a little more time to look at this and go, wait a minute, 150 men total. But my leader is a 5th level captain. He can only command 50 of these heavy foot rather. What the rest of these 100 guys, do I have enough leaders to do that? And I can take a week. I'm not adventuring. I'm just cooling my heels. I'm just waiting for more supplies to show up. I'm waiting for more warm bodies to throw into the meat grinder. And while I do that, I can take a look at my military roster, which is on a piece of paper right over where to go. I can take my. It was in the castle. I should have known. All my troops, you look in the castle. It's the first place you should expect. So I took a look at this and I said, okay, well, if I've got my captain is a 5th level captain and he's got a lieutenant, that's my 70 heavy foot. I got 1 lieutenant for the light foot. I got 1 lieutenant for the archer, and I got 2 lieutenants for my medium horse. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lieutenants, which a 5th level captain, Captain Von Traps, he can command as many lieutenants as he has. All right, cool. He's got 5 lieutenants. I'm golden. What if I want to bump this up to 80 heavy foot? Well, I'm going to have to level this guy up, right? Maybe I'm sending the same lieutenant out over and over, and so I can level him up, and now I can add another 10. So ideally, with these 3rd level lieutenants, if I level them all up at some point, I need to justify that. I need to find a way out. Now, I'm not tracking their experience points, one-to-one, but if they're out here exploring and, for example, like this guy, this Lightfoot, he's going to be the first because he's going out constantly hunting giant frogs. And that's the other thing. The giant frogs will be done. We'll have hunted them all out. These Lightfoot will all be available. Right now, they're just logging expeditions down here. And I think that'd be a good checkpoint. Once the frogs are gone, we may see a cash infusion from Harrington. Once we finish exploring this hex, we may see a small kind cash infusion. All right, hey, we'll give you another 2,000 gold. Depends on what's in there. Yeah, ideally, we're making money for the boys back home, and we're finding enough treasure in here. We're beating enough big guys, like the ogres, for example, to pay for our own way and send some money back home for them to take care of, all the paperwork on the townie side. But as we do this, and then we bump up one of these guys at a time. So I have 5 guys. If I level up all 5 of these guys, these lieutenants, then that'll give me another 50 boys that I can be leading. And technically, because Roger Steiner is a 6th level fighter, he could be commanding 120 guys of his own. Now, I haven't been playing it that way, but technically there's readings of the rules that will justify that. I'm just saying, if I can level up those 5 lieutenants, then I could wind up with a total of 150 men. Now, bear in mind that, 20 of those will be the medium horse and then 10 each of these. So I'm really going to max out at 30, 80, 30 on the light foot, heavy foot, and archers. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that because we're going to take some casualties. We're going to lose some more fellas along the way. And, that's one of the other things that you have to consider when you're playing these sorts of games is that we have, after all these months of play, our life counter as measured in gold pieces is very low. And so we have to find ways to bring more gold in. Gary is very good about finding ways to separate a character being run by a player from his gold, whether it's monthly upkeep or training costs. You are constantly being incentivized to go out and explore. It's a little shocking to me that I've explored so little. This is, by the way, this little hex here, I don't think it shows up very well. That's Broken Lands as well. We definitely want to get down here and clear out the rest of this path to civilization. Remember, this is the dirt path that we're wearing, although we probably use different paths and trails to disguise our numbers, that kind of thing. But we definitely want to clear this hex because that's the side of the hex that will take us to either the beach, right? So going southeast is going to take us, we're right here. This circle right here is so this is a 4-mile hex. Is that right? Yeah, it's a 4-mile hex. So most of that, it's probably actually going to be something like this. This is the area of these hexes here. And so you're only another mile or two from Long Lake, from Black Sand Beach, and our boys, actually, come to think of it, we may want to clear this hex next right away, because if we're going to go around Long Lake, then we're going to be coming more more northeast-ish. So that'll be the goal, is next week we'll pick up. And as I said, June 1st, that Sunday, huge celebration. Feast of, I'll have to check the calendar, the liturgical calendar. It'll be the Feast of it's not Michael. But regardless, we'll have a nice big feast day. And then June 2nd, we'll be ready to hit this running. Shorter video today. Like I said, busy times, busy Family Guy stuff going on. Wouldn't have it any other way. I knew the terms of the deal when I signed up for it. When I stood and said I knew that this could happen, that I'd have to put you guys on hold sometimes for the small people that live in my house, although they're not so small anymore, and for the lovely ladies who put up with my nonsense. They are a light unto my life, and I don't mind putting this stuff on the back burner any more than I would mind putting it on the back burner for you fine folks. Until next time, I'm praying for you.